Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. The plan for today is to work on multiple trees. They all need some smaller works, especially now that the seasons are changing. So some need to prune back a little bit, the other ones we might need to adjust the wire a little bit, some we have some dieback we want to remove before the cold season starts. So a lot of work on some trees, and it's a lot of small work, so I thought why not lump this together in one video with multiple trees, giving you just an idea on the work I'm doing, especially now that the seasons are changing. And I would start here with this little constellation I have going of different ficus microcarpa or ficus ginseng, 3 in total in here, and what the plan is for those is to stunt the growth again a little bit. You can see especially the one here in the back has a lot of growth, it's starting to branch out finally now, and I want to keep encouraging that by pruning back some of those shoots here. Also on the smaller ones we will take a look then, though I would probably focus today on this one up here. I can see here, for example, a smaller growth happening, so why don't we prune it back to here and hope that it will branch out one more time here, like it did, for example, here down. We have here also in the back the same thing with quite a laggy growth, so I would also take out this part here. That already gives us a better idea. We might also wire this sooner or later. For now I'm quite happy with the way it is. It is growing a little bit outwards, the branching starts to go a little bit more outwards, and that is actually fine for me. Here we also have some branching out already. I wouldn't cut this, for example, back. It is still green. We won't probably get any ramification if we cut that back now. So we just leave this on. And here we have a lower branch that is definitely weaker than the upper two branches without any branching, but it becomes a little bit woody here already. So we can also prune it back simply a little bit. Good, for the main tree that is already all that I wanted to do for today. Let's look at the smaller ones here, and we can see this one is extremely laggy. Doesn't really look healthy, this growth, so I would take this probably completely back here, give it a new start. Here we have also quite some laggy growth, so I'm just doing some tip pruning here, giving it some smaller shape again. And the small one here is actually doing quite fine. I wouldn't go too much into it at the moment because there's not that much new growth happening anyway, so I don't want to stress this tree now too much before cold season really starts. So I would say for this constellation we're already done. We just did some pruning back in the hopes of improving ramification. Let's move on to the next tree. And here we have a Ficus benjamina. It is somewhat of a clump style. It is simply, I bought it this way. I wanted to separate the trees, but I already saw that they started to fuse together here at the root base. So I potted them up together, hoping to make a clump style out of this. It has also had some dieback. You can see, for example, here, this has definitely died back, this entire branch here. So that's something I can move right away, with some dieback here in the back also. And the main goal for this one today is to readjust the wire a little bit. Right now it doesn't really give movement to this tree, I would say, and I want to improve that a little bit by, for example, wiring this one down a little bit more, creating more of a lower branch with this tree. Something like this, just really setting it down a little bit. Of course, also trying to at least mimic this a little bit also on this side. Just wiring it down a little bit and getting also some more movement here into these branches. So just some movement to make it look a little bit more interesting. Here we have to adjust the wire now because we took out the other branch that had died back. So we just readjust this wire and also wire this a little bit out. We still have this one here in the back that is filling in the area quite nicely. And it just spreads out this tree a little bit. It is still a lot of work to be done on this tree, definitely. But I think winter is a good time for it to settle into this new movement. And for that, this is a good setup. Let's take one more look around. And I think here in the back, we also have some dieback that we can still take out. Just cleaning up a little bit. Here there is new growth coming, so that should be fine still. Here we have this growth on it, so no true dieback. Do we need to tip prune? Maybe also. I wouldn't, as this tree had a bit of dieback anyway. I don't want to stress it too much with also not taking out the tips. I hope that it will, once come spring again, start to backbud a little bit also. By then we will stunt the growth by tip pruning, and hopefully that will just result in a bit more bushier tree again. But I think for now, at least the setup of the wire is definitely already improving this tree. So all there is to say about this tree. Let's move on to the next one. So this next tree I have shown already quite often. It is a variegated Ficus benjamina. The problem I had with this tree is I pruned it back and then it dried out a little bit too much and it lost almost all of its leaves. As you can see, it has bounced back with a lot of new growth coming in, but it is of course still time to clean up any dead branching that has unfortunately resulted from the little slip up we had with watering. So I'm going here, for example, in the bottom, taking out some branches. And we especially have those tips on most of these branches that simply have died back, where no new growth has formed, but we had then some backbudding happening, which of course is great that that happened, but it also means we still need to remove the dead stumps here at the tips of these branches. It is always good to see like where any dieback might have happened, so we can simply go in here and take it out accordingly. For example, also here, again, just the top of the tip. And the same actually here. I can see it's still live underneath because it starts to leak that sap, so maybe we even get some new branching going on here, or maybe it even encourages backbudding again. As long as we make sure this one doesn't dry out again, we should be fine. We have some branches here with extremely leggy growth, like for example here. I would probably even try to get a new start going here. Same here in the back, this is also very leggy. And probably up here as well. So we take that out. But for the rest, I think we can leave it on the way it is. Here we have some dead aerial roots that we can also take out. And just cleans out this tree a little bit again. Makes it look a little bit tidier. Here is still some dieback, but I can see a new backbudding happening here at this tiny space, so it's good that we leave this on. Here we have some grossing branching that we can also correct. And also this cleans up the tree again, of course. Here we still have one died back branching that we take out. It removes simply a little bit of clutter, which is always good when we go into the colder season, just to have our tree already all nice and set up for when the growth starts again, then in hopefully half a year. So one more tree I have for you, let's switch to that. And this is already the last tree for today. It is Ficus benjamina as well. It has been growing wild for all growth season. I didn't really work that much on it. I think I once took a branch out and that's it. And I want to, again, like we did with the first time, simply stunt the growth here a little bit. Look where we have leggy growth, take that out. Look where it's starting to get woody, where we can get some ramification going. It has grown a lot in this direction, for example, but it's only one long shoot, so we can take this back, take out here some lengthy growth. Even here, when we go up to another branch, we can take this out. And we just make our way around this tree real fast, seeing what it makes sense to take out. It has developed a quite nice branch structure. I think here we can see that very, very well. So it is really ramifying in a nice way. Quite happy with the development it is showing. Here we have some crossing branching, so we can take the whole thing out here. Here's some new growth from a stump. Perfect also again how it regrows there. Here, this we can still stunt a little bit because probably will focus too much energy otherwise on just growing upwards, and I still try to make this grow a little bit bushier. The point is to create a little broom style tree here, so I think we're on the right way here. Here's a downwards growing leaf we can also remove. Just cleaning up again this tree as well, making it a little bit more dense and hopefully setting it up for also dense growth again in the future. But I think that we have achieved. So we saw 4 different trees, 3 where we really focused rather on pruning, on removing dead leaves, dead branches, and 1 where we also adjusted the wire a little bit. When we are with the wire, I think that is also something we have to do here still a little bit. So I want to remove this wire. It has been on here the whole growth season, and before it really starts to bite in, we do remove this wire. So I'm just unfurling it so we can also reuse it again. Of course, it's perfectly fine wire that can be reused. So I'm just going around here. It's quite dense, of course, but as we already pruned back this tree, it is now easier to remove this wire without harming the tree and without the need of actually cutting back anything. So we removed it. Here it has slightly started to bite in, so it's good that we removed it. That is something that will grow out as well again here on the main trunk, and on the branches I don't see any bite marks yet, so definitely good that we took this out. Set up for the end of growth season, definitely. I'll keep you up to date on all 4 of these trees. Probably I won't work on them a lot now during cold season, but once growth starts again, I will let you know, and then we continue working on them. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. If you enjoy my channel, feel free to subscribe to it. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.